everybody, it's Wednesday at 2. I am live and I just wanted to show you album retreat today. So I'm just going to wait a couple minutes. Hi Tanya. I know there's a lot of people that seem to be at home or free today because I've been chatting with people a little bit. So I'm going to wait just a moment. So just give me a sec. I'm going to grab a catalog too. Okay. Jen is watching Moose for me today. So I'm just going to do a few little updates, hello, and show you these cool pages that I made during the album retreat. Let me set those aside just for a moment. So the first thing is I just want to show you this is the current mini catalog, and I know it's weird. I've been getting scattered messages from people saying, hey, it finally arrived, and you know, here we are mid-month. I have not received my ones that come direct from Close to My Heart yet. I'm not really upset about it because here's the scoop with this catalog. These catalogs are cheap. They don't cost a ton of money, you know, a couple bucks each or whatever, but to mail them to people costs a lot. And so if I have them shipped to me and then, oh, he wants to eat. And then my dog is jumping up over my shoulders. He is hungry. He's food driven. Anyway, if I have these catalogs mailed to my house and then I mail them on to other people, it costs me about $7 or $8 each. Where if I have Close to My Heart ship them direct, it's only like $3. So if they get lost once in a while, it's not the end of the world. But if you didn't get one and you're desperate for one, you know, we still have another month to go. Please let me know, and I'll do what I can to get one to you. Remember that you get one free when you order online. You just have often you have to add it, but I've noticed lately that sometimes they'll just include a free one automatic. So make sure you just check your shopping cart to see if you have a free catalog in there. And if you order later towards the end of this, like second, third week of June, you'll get the newer one, which would be July, August. Woo! Okay, anyway, just wanted to let you know that that's the scoop. This is the stamp of the month currently. You Are Enough is the special that runs through the end of June, and June is when Close to My Heart is having all of those live events with this National Scrapbook Month special. So make sure and get online and check that out if you are if this appeals to you. I really love the pages and I love how they look. I'm kind of interested in doing the mini book. They're doing like a 6x8 mini album. I'm kind of interested in doing that. So I'm holding off on cutting up too much more of my paper until I get that done. Okay. Woo, there's so much goodness in here. But I want to talk about the album retreat. So the album retreat is a 2-day event that Close to My Heart normally holds only for consultants. And then in 2018 or 2019, they opened it up to consultants, plus you could bring a friend who might be interested in joining the company, which of course that means bring anyone you want. And it was all live, and you'd go to Utah and do this big event in person. That's wonderful, but I don't know many people who can have that kind of time off from work and have that kind of money to spend to go to do an album retreat. So when COVID hit, I think blessing in disguise, they went virtual with everything, and so these album retreats went virtual, which is great because now everyone can attend and you don't have to pay the extra costs to travel, which is amazing. And I didn't have to take time off from work because in addition to these are live, but there's videos that you can watch whenever you want. So if you happen to work the weekend of the album retreat or whatever, you can watch them on your own time. And this one in particular was intense. If you were a beginning scrapbooker, I would say you would have to watch the videos and do them slowly because they moved really fast and there was a lot of techniques. And I think over the next month or so, I'm going to show some of these techniques. As a matter of fact, I thought about maybe even going live, one of my lives doing a watercolor session, because every single one of these pages has watercolor, which is a cool thing, but it's a scary thing when you're talking about it in your scrapbooks. Okay. So, this album just happened to have a theme of the 5 senses, and I want to show you I kind of turned my camera so that you could see 2 pages at once. Let me see if I can get those all in the shot. Pretty close there. Okay, so basically, I want to show you some of the techniques. This was a really cool layout. It looks very basic, but this took forever to make, you guys. It was like, wow. All the pieces came cut except for the little flags. You remember that on the mix-in paper pack, they used a lot of the mix-in papers, but there's this sheet of tags, and we cut them apart, and you'll see tags used throughout this entire album. But what's really cool is each of the 5 senses, we got an exclusive stamp set. Let me just show you what we got here. Sorry, I got a pile because I've been working on our club layouts. So this was one stamp set we got, and this flower set, if you like it, is going to be in the July-August catalog. It is called Doodled Florals, and it came with all these thin cuts. It is insane how many thin cuts it comes with. Every single image except for the small circles and small leaves have thin cuts with them, which is amazing. Used these on almost every page, and then it came with, sorry, I'm messing around here because I have been using some of these. It came with a 2 stamp set called Taking It All In, and this stamp set is all about, well, the senses. So this one had like sight, sound, taste, scent, touch. It had like food related things, music and sound related things, a few little hearts and tabs and borders. This big flower, bold flower right here also fits the thin cut for this one. So we got an image, a lined image, and a solid, which is pretty cool. Used this circle a lot. Actually, we used almost all of them. There's a couple that I did. You can tell kind of which ones I didn't use, but it was more out of choice than out of their samples. I tend to tweak a little as we go. Okay. So on this first page, the cool part is that these little flags are interactive, and they even show you how to cut your page protector so that the person looking through your book can open them. And then these little circles that we cut and stamped are in green and yellow, and they get stuck to the different flags. But of course I can't do that until after the page protectors are cut. I don't want to cut them extra big to fit the circles. So anyway, so a lot of the people who have made this and posted their pictures are using this for random pictures. Like they'll do one, you know, a sound, a taste, you know, they're using the different senses. And I love the title that says "This Makes Sense." And then this opens and you can put more pictures inside, or you can journal in here as well. So that's another interactive element that they taught. Oh, it came with bling, the crystals. And did you know, I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but you can color those with alcohol ink markers, alcohol markers, and color them any color you want, which is really neat if you have those kind of markers. It also came with a set of exclusive, like not something out of the catalog, acrylic images, and then the black acrylic arrows. So this was page 1. Really love it. I think I have a plan for it, but I have not actually pulled my pictures together. Okay, this one I thought was kind of my least favorite to actually do. And it's because we did a watercolor wash on the background and you can kind of see it. And I don't like how watercolor buckles our white daisy paper. And that's why I thought, well, maybe I need to do like a watercolor class on how not to do this. I was in a hurry when I did it, so that's why mine is buckled. Now you'll notice this one not so buckled, and I have a lot more pigment on this one than this one. So there's definitely a little learning curve if you do that. So I just wanted to show you that that's, you know, one of the techniques they used. So we had the black dots. Oh yeah, we got black dots too. We got shimmer trim, so you'll see shimmer trim on almost every page too. And the sticker sheet that comes from the Hillside, this sticker sheet. So these are the stickers we used for the album retreat. So this is what I have left over. Okay, and this is actually an acrylic piece. It's kind of dimensional. I don't know if you can see that. But that came as part, there was that exclusive acrylic set had these music notes in it and several other things. So the little ampersand. I just think this one is really cool. And the title says listening to music makes me happy, and I'm thinking about doing something with 70s rock on here. As a matter of fact, I think there's a perfect spot right here for my little VW bus. And I may even, I don't really have a lot of pictures necessarily for that. I may go to the internet and print some album covers or something. That would be really cool. And then maybe do journaling here on all my memories of that time. That was my favorite music. So anyway, I just thought that would be really neat. Okay, so there was the overall one with all the senses, and then there's like 2 layouts for each other sense. So here's the other hearing one, and let me make sure you can see it. I feel like I'm off kilter here, but what's cool about it is I think the album covers are a cool idea too. We rolled the paper and then attached paper to the back to make it pop through, and we pleated paper and then rolled up the main cardstock, and then you can see I attached my pleat to the back. So that is a very cool distressing technique, and they repeated it on this page as well. So we have basically, you know, down here at the bottom and down here at the top. So this music piece, and this is all playlist, and those are all acrylic shapes. black and white dots. Those white, I'm telling you, those black and white dots are pretty amazing. We made this pie. You can tell why it took so darn long, because there's a lot of interactive things and we had to cut them. But this turns, and what they showed, now I probably won't do this, but they did show how to cut, you know, the page protector so that the person can turn this. I don't see the need. I like how it looks just like that. It's cool that it's interactive, and it is really fun. Whether or not I will actually, you know, make that happen in my page protector, I'm not sure. And then these are pieces of rolled up paper made into little tubes, so they're, you know, kind of thick. And my thought was, I want to squish these out a bit and not have it so thick in my book, but I don't want to mess them up yet. I mean, I don't want to like do anything to them yet, but there's some on this page as well. So between the two, I'm kind of like, So for this one, a lot of the consultants are doing their current playlists. So they looked at their phones and took pictures of what their current playlists are, and writing down their current music that they like, pictures of them with headphones on, that kind of thing. And that's all fun and good. I just do not have those kind of pictures, so I am going to have to like take that type of picture. My thought too is, I'm a podcast junkie. I love to listen to podcasts all day long in the background. So I have like Clark Howard, I have the Crime Junkies, I have some political shows I love to listen to. And I thought this might be a fun thing for podcasts. Also, even though it says music to my ears, podcasts are what I listen to. I love them. So I just thought that would be kind of a cool use for this too. This is you can tell that every page they make took a lot of time and a lot of energy. These album retreats, even though they are expensive, you end up with a pretty amazing album at the end of it, and you should for the price, to be honest. Most album retreats are about $250, and then I can give you $25 in free stuff and half price item. Some people use that to actually buy the album half price. And then you also, VIPs also get their 15% credit. So you get it back. You get a lot of it back. It still ends up costing a couple $100 in the long run. So it is, you need to have some pretty outstanding pages when you pay that kind of money, right? So here you can see we did a lot of watercolor on the background page again, and I love how that turned out looking. That was sponging, and so I have no problem showing you guys some of the cool techniques we used, because it was just so much fun, but it was a lot. Okay. This is probably my favorite layout of all. It says foodie, excuse me, delicious, yummy, tasty, good eats. It has this little chef's hat, which could also be a muffin. There was a lot of discussion that looked like a muffin with a giant top on it. But I love the colors of this, using like the Carolina blue and the I just love it. It had a lot of stamping on this one, and you can tell, like, when you look at that exclusive stamp set that we got, there's so many little images, like here's that little, you know, fork and knife, and here's that little good eats, and we made borders, and we splattered using the watercolor. We used the circles up here in the corner, acrylic shapes, black dots, Here's another acrylic shape. I think this one is in the Arrow kit. And so you can see there's a lot going on there. And this one's perfect for us because I feel like every trip we take, it's all about food. So food is often a big part of our vacations. And I love this #foodie stamp. It's amazing. Okay, are you getting tired yet? Because we're not even halfway through. Here's the other taste one. So with this one, a few techniques. I love this one. This one I'm definitely going to show you. I think we're going to recreate this page in one of my lives, either next week or week after, because I have been scrapbooking since I was about 20. And I can tell you that I had never done this technique before. And to me, that's a wow. If I have something that I've never seen before, I think that's pretty impressive. And so I can't wait to show you that. You guys are going to be like, whoa. Acrylic shapes, shimmer trim behind the opening of the acrylic shape, the little circle stamping, this cool distressing, lots of watercolor around the edges. And the other thing with this one is we gutted the paper, so we cut out the black, and so this black is actually just a big frame laid onto a white page. And then a shaker element in your scrapbook. Can you even? And so there are a lot of consultants who make their pages like giant shaker elements, but I have never put a shaker in there just because the dimension of it. Sometimes even the foam tape, I'm like, wow, that's really thick. But this is a big special album, and I just followed along with them and did what they went through. What do you think so far? So we have, and then this is, we have a lot of little strips like this that I did not attach. These are like for journaling, where you journal on the strips and then glue them down, cut them and glue them. And that's all well and good, but I just, I don't often journal that way, but I might on here. I feel like I might have enough to journal there. I don't do a good job of telling my story all the time. Okay, we're gonna move to touch, and this layout, you guys are gonna be like, what? So I know it's not all put together because there is watercolor on this page because we stamped the images and then watercolored on the images, and then we stamped on the page directly. We cut out all these little circles and cut them in half and made like this little party banner. We stamped shimmer trim, and then we stamped these little X's across the bottom. We stamped these little crosses across the bottom. I just thought, it all looked really cool. This page in particular is a spinner. So the title is Come In and Cozy Up, and a lot of people are using that for like pictures of their kids asleep, cuddling up with their teddy bears or their sister or brother or whatever, hugging, whatever. I don't have that kind of picture, but I have a lot of pictures of like my cat sleeping on my shoulder and my cat sleeping in weird places, and I think that's what I'm going to use this for. And so the way this works is this has foam tape around the edges except for where the spinner goes. The spinner is in here, and there'll be like, you see there's like a little opening, and then you just spin like this, and then there's a template. This is a template. It's like just a piece of acrylic, so that you can cut your photos, and then you can put them as pie wedges on here, and then as they spin around, the photos will show into the window. So, can we just say wow on that? To me, this is like, wow, this is a lot. And they even showed how to cut the page protector and, you know, to make this spinner really work. Now, the reason I don't have it put together is, first, I didn't have pictures yet, but I kind of like this blue, this like Carolina blue, and I feel like it's a lot of yellow. I'm not a big yellow fan, and so I may break it up and matte my pictures like a double matte with some blue. Anyway, I just thought, whoo, that's a lot. Acrylic shapes, shimmer trim. So that one is a touch one. Here's my favorite layout of the whole thing. Of course, I keep saying this is my favorite, but I gotta tell you, there was a lot of favorites in here. This, a hug makes everything better. They had a couple of these cutouts. Here's the other one. One day, someone is going to hug you so tight that all your broken pieces will stick back together. I thought that was really cute. We stamped these cards, did this ombre effect on the cards. I could show you how to make that if you ever want to see that. We did stamping along the border strips at the top and bottom, the little hearts up here, and a few stickers, a lot of stamped flowers. This looks very fall to me. And the coolest part of this was making these strips into a background. Loved it. And we made this cool scallopy border out of 1-inch circles. And so this was not like a big die cut scallop or something. I gotta tell you, of all of the album retreats I've ever gone to, of all of the close to my heart events I've ever gone to, this album was by far the heaviest in technique, and a lot of little parts and pieces that had to be put together. And there were a lot of comments afterwards that people were overwhelmed because they moved fast. But look how beautiful it is. I was able, you know, I'm a fast scrapbooker. I'm really fast. I get things done quickly, but even I had trouble keeping up with this a little bit, and so I was like, wow, if I had trouble keeping up, I'm not sure how some of my friends would do, because some of my friends work a lot slower than I do. I have a tendency to just kind of put it together quick. But I did enjoy it very, very much, but it was a lot of work. Okay, so this one, their example said smells like home, and I put summer. I changed it because smells like home, you know, a lot of people do have certain scents that really remind them of, you know, their mother's house, their grandma's house, or something in their home that always has a certain smell, certain cooking, or whatever. But to me, smells like summer was a big thing because I was thinking like freshly mowed grass, a barbecue, you know, outdoor, like swimming in the pool outside. There's certain things that I associate with the smell of summer. And so that's why I made this page this way. And I'm excited about it because I actually do have a few photos that can go on here. Now the cool thing about this one, technique wise, is this, we made these little fringy borders. I don't know if you can see that they are dimensional, and they kind of, even in a page protector, they have a little shadow to them, and you can see the fringe. So this page actually is 3 layers of fringe, and so cutting all that fringe, you can imagine how long that took. Now I happen to own a pair of Martha Stewart fringe scissors, so they look like this, and they have, you know, like 5 blades. So it didn't take me as long. Chop, 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 chop. But it's still tedious work. I mean, you know, it's still a lot. And so not as much watercoloring, a little tiny bit of watercoloring on this image right here. But most of this page was stamping and just putting paper together. And if you look at it, there's very little, it's a lot of cardstock. Which is nice because, you know, we all have stashes of cardstock, and you could use scraps of your patterns to make this page. The other thing that was interesting to me about these pages was that they had some very weird color combinations. I would never in a million put together this evergreen green with these pastel, like Smoothie and Sundance and Glacier and Bluebell. To me, those colors just don't all work together, but somehow on this layout they really do. And you have to remember that when you get your photo on there, very little of the green will actually show. It'll just be a border. If I had a photo here, I would put it over there and show you. Okay, another smell one. This one I actually finished because I was messing with it the other night, and I showed Stephanie because I was like, what do you think of doing the pictures like this? So what's really cool about this one, my favorite scents, is that we created, there were so many parts to this. So this is just Bluebell cardstock. And hi Heather, it's okay. They showed a cool technique on how to distress, or if you prefer, ink the scored lines on the cardstock. And so I was messing around. So instead of doing the same thing on both pages, I sanded this one and I inked this side. So you can't really, it's not that obvious that it's that different, but technically, I think we were supposed to ink both sides. The other thing we did that was kind of cool is we splattered the watercolors, used acrylic. We made our own like washi tape look out of cardstock and stamped on it. I think that turned out pretty cool. And as a matter of fact, I had a little bit of the avocado cardstock left over, and technically this was supposed to be 3 3-inch photos and then 1 4x6 photo here. But because I went onto the internet and printed a bunch of photos of my favorite scents, I made them smaller and put more on there. I could have gone on and on. After I went through and was like, I love the smell of coffee brewing. Even if it's not coffee, I don't even really drink coffee that much. I like the mocha kind of sugary coffee, but I love the smell of coffee when my husband makes it, and his is very strong. Peonies, the ocean or beach, you know, that smell that you have when you come home. The smell of rain. When it first starts raining or after it's done and the sun starts coming out again. Fresh baked bread, freshly mown grass, movie popcorn, and sawdust. I really like the smell of that burned wood, sawdust smell. And then the journaling was over here in the circles. Lots of clusters, lots of stamping. So you can see this took some time. This took some time to put together, but it's just beautiful. And I do not normally put this much effort and energy into every page I make. So to me, it's like, wow, it's wow. And these will be scattered in various places in my album. I'm not going to put all of these in one big album. They'll be in various places. So I'm going to have wow pages scattered throughout. So this one was really fun because it was just paper strips. I think we've all made pages like this where we just did paper strips. But you might notice there's like this little flowery looking, scallop looking border around the image. It was just like a giant circle flower. We sponged that onto both pages so you can kind of see it poking out in the background. So we created the background on both pages. Then we did this really cool tearing technique. And you know, Close to My Heart cardstock having a white core, some people are like, oh, I hate it. But what's really cool is you can do some neat distressing techniques, and I love the white core. We did some watercoloring, lots of stamping. This is an acrylic piece from that special set. And I just thought a lot of people, the Love at First Sight, were doing this as like a baby page. You know, when their babies were born or grandchildren were born, a lot of photos of whatever, but I did my baby moose. Isn't it cute? I love the white core too. And so, now see, I could go on and on about the smells that I love. And so I put 8 on that page back there, but I probably could have done probably 20. It's interesting, like once you really start to think about it. And so a couple of the consultants started talking about scents that they hate or things that they associate, like football season and their teenagers' uniforms and things like that. It was funny. It was a fun time. I had a good time at this. It was just fast. So, okay, anyway, love this page. Love how it turned out. Love that picture of my dog. That is snow on his nose, just in case you're wondering what that is. Okay, and the final page is also sight. And my least favorite page in the whole thing was this one. When we finished it, I was like, bleck. Who thought to put these colors together? It's paprika, New England ivy, bluebell, smoothie, and Sundance. And I was like, who put these colors together? These colors don't belong together. But this turned out to be a very spectacular page. So here we did a wash again in the background. And again, I think I'm going to do that watercolor technique thing to show you how to do this without warping your pages horribly. There's a tiny bit of warpage in this one, but not bad, and certainly will level out when I put it in a book. You won't even see it. It's that little. So there is a technique to doing it where you don't have like gobs of water everywhere that makes your pages wonky. The torn edges, 3 layers of torn edges. We splattered watercolor. I don't know if you see the little dots of blue on there. The X's are stamped images and watercolored and stickers. It came with the color word cut out already, stamped directly on our page. I added a flip flap. I, of course, had to make one of my pages Disney themed. So this one is from Epcot, A World of Color. I thought it was appropriate, right? So this is like Italy, and this is Japan, and then I think that's China, actually. And then on this page, same thing, multiple layers of tearing, stamping, kind of a similar mirrored border on this side. Watercolor. We stamped the lines for the journaling, and I needed just a little bit more space, and so I added a tiny flip flap here. That was not part of the album retreat. It's just something I was like, oh, but I need it for a couple more pictures that I had of different areas. So, and then the other thing is, like, this was made to have 2 3x3 photos, but I had this one big photo that I thought was beautiful. And so I just put it over the photo mats. I think it looks fine. I don't think anybody looking at that would be like, who matted that way? I mean, it's just not even noticeable. So I just plopped the picture over it. So, woo! That is the whole album retreat. And you know, at the end of it, I felt like I needed a nap. It was long, but I learned tons. I learned tons, and so I feel like if you have an opportunity to ever do one, you actually have the money to do one, it's probably worth your while. My favorite are usually the holiday ones. I like having Christmas pages done. A lot of times I have so much Christmas paper and I never seem to pull it all out to make my albums, but there you go, Heather. Thank you. I agree. The other thing about this this one right here, it came with one of the memory protectors that adds to the middle, kind of like that extended story that we did together as a group, and lots of places. I think this will be an amazing fall layout. And who would have thought to put smoothie with all these fall colors? But boy, it looks so cool. And we stamped on these strips. You might notice there's that, you know how we had that February, was it February stamp of the month, where we had all those little strips of borders. You might notice that how they used them here. So this right here is this cross border, and this one right here, we made a plaid using the journaling strips. So we stamped it this way, then stamped it this way. And look how cool that ended up being. I just think that turned out really neat. I could totally see this being used for almost any paper pack that we have. The spinner, the foodie around the table with the shaker. This one, you know what? This one right here, a lot of people were using for food truck pictures, because food truck pictures have a lot of these kinds of colors, and I thought that was kind of clever. I think that, considering that the colors in it were not all my taste, I was a little disappointed, I gotta be honest, when I saw some of the color combinations, because I'm not a big yellow fan. I don't really love some of the combinations they did, but I am so pleased with how these pages came out, and it just reminds me that I have to open my mind a little bit and be open to trying some new things. And you know, sometimes I'm just stuck in my ways and I do everything over and over the same, as you know, because you get pages from me, right? I love this page. This is, the colors of this page are very soft and really nice. I love it. So there were a couple people who did pictures of like going to the spa or getting their manicure, pedicures and stuff. They had pictures of them and their family or friends doing this, because, and then they documented, you know, the different senses that go with that. I just think the whole thing turned out nice. So, okay, I just wanted to share that. I'm working on the club layouts today. I should have them all done today. So hopefully in the mail, probably next week. I'll probably put those in the mail. If you have any question at all about orders, let me know. Let's see. What goes under the flags? These journaling. There's supposed to be journaling lines on there, and I just didn't want to stamp them. I don't always like journaling lines. I like to journal however much I want to journal, and I feel restricted sometimes when lines are on a page. So if I put 3 lines, I feel obligated to write 3 lines worth, or sometimes I have 10 lines of writing and my writing's very small and I could put that there. But if I had the lines in the way, it would be a problem. So I just don't always stamp them when they, there's a lot of those kind of things that I did not do, and my pages still turned out good. So anyway, look at that. That's definitely a good size album right there. That's a lot of pages. So, neato. And you may have noticed a lot of the mix-ins in there. They used, this is the Bluebell piece they used. We used an entire pack of mix-ins in here. There's something on every single page using these colors. This is a good one. It's very neutral. Okay, next week, I can't decide if I'm going to show a card or a cool layout. I'm dying to show that distress technique that they have in here, so I may do that. And then maybe after that, some watercolors. We'll see. So, have a good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for watching.